Hey Queen, and welcome to Uncensored Hot Femme. I am Anna Olsen, and I am the owner of the Royal Queendom and a mentor for women. I call myself a mentor for pussy-led women, and I work with feminine energy and erotic liberation, but it's so much about intimacy and especially to ourselves, since everything in life is a reflection of who we are, a mirror of who we are. That means we transform inside out and see how the world starts responding to us in a different way. So, what I love about the concept of being a queen is that we light up our crown and we take ownership and live our life to the fullest with all the pieces inside of us that we are, that we contain of, and we integrate all the pieces into wholeness and remember who the fuck we are, that we are no longer a victim of life. And this is especially something I've started to talk around lately, and this is, how life transforms sometimes. We just have different topics that feels so true to us in certain moments of life. And to me, they are always interconnected one way or another. But you're so welcome here. And today I will talk about the good girl gone bad. This is something that came up for me 2 years ago when I held my first workshop in the good girl gone bad. And 2 years ago, it was really limited in many ways to our sexuality. And then it has expanded, of course, for me to really have a deep understanding that we pour ourselves out in so many ways more than sex. And there may be pieces here that you don't recognize yourself in, and I will do my best to explain the concept because I see so many different pieces of the good girl. And I will explain it to you. But before we even go in there, I want to tell you just today, I had an amazing conversation with a woman called Helena, and her work is also around feminine energy, and she has a different expression than me, but she invited me to her podcast, Yes to Life. And it was just an amazing conversation. And to be invited to someone else's podcast where I was, put in the spotlight by someone else witnessing me. And I'm a talker. I'm really a talker. And I have been very good at talking, I think, all my life, but I don't really remember. And it's so funny how we can have different pieces of ourselves and how we so often don't see ourselves. I also had a coffee date with another woman this morning, and I told her, we are so bad at seeing our own power, but I see your power. The same with Helena, I see your power. And I think it's so important to understand that if we are a mirror, we can consciously mirror people back in the best way possible to really reflect back to them their power and their love and their amazingness. That's what we can do. And also, if someone, of course, acts badly, we can reflect that back. But ultimately, we are a relationship. Um, like every relationship reflects back pieces of ourselves. So that's why our triggers, our desires, like when we are attracted to people or someone, they are a mirror for you to look in, to heal, grow, and transform yourself. And when we look at others, we talked about comparison too, that especially as women, we are so good, quote unquote, because it's not really good how we compare ourselves all the time to this woman, to that woman, and just make ourselves like wrong and really internalize the wrongness of who we are. And God, girls, we need to stop doing this. We need to create spaces where we celebrate each other, where we encourage each other, where we fucking hype each other up and see that my wrong is not your right and your right is not my wrong. So we can be in spaces where we connect in an empowering way with other women, how we can heal the sister wound and how we can feel like, yes, we are walking hand in hand really as a force of power in togetherness. We need community and we search for belonging. We play down, we hide pieces just to belong, maybe in spaces we should not even be in. Place yourself in another room, woman, and see how you will evolve just by that, since we co-regulate and we affect each other. You know, we are we are such a product of our environment in many ways. So that's what I see my community as, that space for us to not def deflect or suppress that we have been through shit in our lives and tough things and we have been hurt. But we are not going to let that stop us, right? We are not going to let life, we're not going to be a victim of life. We are taking the past and actually transmuting it into gold. That's what alchemy is all about. And you know, if you know me, I talk about kinky alchemy because we can start really see the pain as wonderful opportunities to move through in the portals and transmute it into gold. And as I said on the podcast I was invited to today, life is a journey and it never stops. We are always imperfect humans coming together, but the willingness to grow, the willingness to look in the mirror is, you know, in essence, and also for the clients coming into my spaces, I will not heal you. I will not, you know, you are your own healer. And I think this is so important to understand. And also as the facilitator, that we don't take away the power. We help people reclaim and remember the power, and that's what a good mentor does. She reflects back that to you and also your bullshit, so you can, you know, stop bullshitting yourself through life. And for me, this has sometimes been hard with men because the more aware I've become, I can see where they go into their victim consciousness. I can see that, and I get dragged into the mothering and the fixing, and yeah. So step by step, I have had to let go of that since that's what they trigger in me. Like if they want to be a victim, fine, be a victim. I go into victim mentality sometimes myself. And that's where I love people that call me out on my bullshit, you know. So, yeah. So I love talking about the good girl gone bad because we are good girling ourselves through life. This is a deep conditioning for many, many, many women. And what the good girl conditioning actually does is that we may look like women, grown-ass women on the outside, but we are walking around on this earth like little girls. And I said it in episode 3, Pain and Pleasure, like it's not our fault. We don't have to blame ourselves. And actually, the people, our parents, like everyone did the best with what they've got or what they had been given to them. So we can have compassion for that. So even though we understand something logically, we must understand that the resentment, the hurt needs to be acknowledged. It needs to be felt. So we can't suppress something and think it have gone away because it hasn't. We have to take an honest look at it and feel it and work through it and move through it so we can turn it into power. I've had so many different experiences where I've felt, my wounds getting poked at, and how I have used my kinky alchemy method to really, transmute it into power and such turn on. It's unleashing that erotic juice. So the good girls, they are conditioned from the beginning, from when we were children, that we should accommodate. We should play small, we should be silent. We have different kinds of conditioning based on how you grew up, but it ultimately it turns into people pleasing. It turns into different strategies to belong, to be loved, to, get, yeah, ultimately to get love. But I love also what Chelsea said in episode 2, like if we have to self-abandon to be loved, like then we are not truly being loved or something like that. And that is so, so true. So it's time to stop people pleasing. It's time to think about what do we want. And there's such a duality in this, because a lot of women don't know what they want. A lot of women are afraid to own what they want. And this is, of course, at a subconscious level, where it's like owning our desires, owning our wants feels dangerous. And when we do, we might fall into being demanding and controlling. So the good girl, I see two parts of the good girl. One is the one who falls into damsel in distress, and the other one falls into hyper independence and more of their over masculinized persona. And we can move between these, and we can move between these in different areas of life too. So I've certainly done that. I thought I was so good and so sweet in many ways, and I fell often into the damsel in distress archetype. And honestly, I was also very demanding in ways, or controlling in ways I didn't understand. I thought I knew everything. I thought I always had the correct answers, like a true Miss Know-It-all, besserwisser. I was really controlling with my children. Yeah, I was actually not very nice in many ways, and I didn't realize this. And how people also have fucking accommodated to me without me realizing it. So yeah, it can really be hard to see all the pieces because we suppress them and we don't see them, and then we get reactions around us that we don't even realize that they are happening. So that's the one part. How can we claim our desires? How can we even know what we desire? Like, what do you want? What do you want in life? And how can you then surrender control? How can you lean back? How can you come home to your body so you can be more in the frequency of your feminine in all her different pieces? This episode is not about the different pieces, but yeah, how can you do that just because you want to? Because our desires are the medicine for the fear. And the good girl is in fear, and she often falls into pleasing or fawning. So that's a survival strategy, right? So we are living in survival mode, and we want to live in thriving mode. And we deserve this. We are worthy of this, and it's ours to claim. We can claim it right now. You can decide right now that you're claiming another life. You're claiming it, you're owning it, and that you want to be calling in and, just that version of you. That's identity work, but really both the frequency to be basking in the juiciness of the relaxed surrendered woman, the woman who allows herself pleasure, who who is really indulging in her sexuality and her sensuality and in her body and with love. Oh my God, and have all that juicy intimacy. So I often compare it to when we are in the Madonna archetype, we think that if we follow, purity culture, that our virginity would be virtuous. Like as long as we keep our virginity intact, we are we are good women. And this is a fucked up concept. I'm just going to say it straight out because women are good girling all over the place, no matter religion, no matter if they have sex, don't have sex, if they like, yeah, in so many ways. In concept, I can agree with so many things, but we are whoring ourselves out in so many different ways that allowing someone to enter our pussy is just one thing of it. And we often leak our sexual energy because we are not, first and foremost, we're not even anchored in our sexual energy. And second, we are not cultivating it and turning it up the fucking volume on it. And our desires, the things that makes us, oh my God, yes, I want this in my life. I want to have this hot, steamy sex. I want this kind of relationship. I want to feel this in my body. Yeah, so we are not cultivating it and turning the volume up. We have disconnected from our pussy and our body in many ways, and we are leaking our energy. And even when I started to reclaim my sexuality, I still had a very leaky energy, both sexually, but in my life. And how do we do this? Well, the good girl, she, especially if she falls into the damsel in distress archetype, she's an overgiver. I would say every piece of the good girl is an overgiver. And we can overgive in so many different ways. We can overgive by always being the one who say yes to anything. Yes, I'll do it. I'll fix it. Why? Because we base our worth on other people's validation. And we do. Or maybe we overgive in a way to take responsibility for others. Maybe we felt like we were the caretaker for someone in our life, or that we had to monitor people's emotions to stay safe. So we take over responsibility for other people's emotions. We are in very much hypervigilance, and it makes us exhausted as fuck. And this is how we leak our energy. And in essence, sexual energy is the same as spiritual energy, it's just, energy. But the sexual energy is very raw and have very much potency in it. So you can see, Johnny, and you can see how you are overgiving. You have problems having boundaries, you don't say no. Maybe sometimes it feels like you want to do a lot of things, but you never lean back to source yourself and nourish yourself. You feel undeserving and unworthy of being nourished, being taken care of, and so on. And actually, if you're in your hyper independence, yes, I'm Miss Independent, I can do it all, I can, yeah, I don't need no man. Well, then you have very high walls, of course, like you are often in competition with men, you go into the power struggle with men. I've experienced this especially since I stepped out of the damsel in distress, falling over to the other end just to reclaim my independence. And we overgive. And then we become the martyr. Oh my God, I have to do everything. All I do, all I do, all I do. Yeah. While the good girl is more like the meek little, oh no, not me. making herself small, like, no. So we're getting really exhausted. We are overgiving all the time. We are in overdrive mode all the time. And in our sex lives, we might not, we might not be connected. We might not, tell someone what we would like in the bedroom. We don't allow ourselves to surrender so someone can take us and be so fucking taken. And we take the lead in the bedroom. We take the lead everywhere. And like, yeah, so you know what kind of taste you have around the good girl in the overgiving department. What we also tend to do as good girls is that we excuse ourselves all the time, or we apologize. We over apologize. It's like, oh my God, excuse me, I'm existing here. And we apologize if we have to go to pee. We apologize for oh my God, I'm sorry that I didn't check this up before. Like, you apologize for fucking everything. And a part of this, truly, if you think about it, is because a lot of times when we do this, it's because if I apologize first for my existence, no one can come and throw it in my face. Yeah, but I knew it. I did apologize before. So we have a lot of intertwined pieces in this, and it can be hard to wrap the head around. We have to truly be aware of it and then start to observe ourselves in our lives. Like, where am I doing this? Where am I walking around like a big fucking excuse for my existence? And apologizing, like apologizing for my opinions, apologizing for my emotions, apologizing for having a big fucking strong desire to be fucked, for having needs, for wanting things in life. We're apologizing for it all the time. And please stop. Please stop with this. And just notice the discomfort that comes with owning yourself and owning the room you walk into. That's confidence. How can you own everything? Like, you don't even have to heal or grow or do anything to start owning who you are right now. Because the truth is, if you step someone on the toes, they can fucking tell you, you know what, that really hurt my feelings. And you can do the same for others. So we can all take responsibility for ourselves. But hand on the heart, this is also a control thing. Because if I apologize and excuse myself, then it's like saying, you know what, already know I'm wrong, so you don't have to tell me. Because we are so afraid actually to be wrong. It's scary. So that's why we either like fall flat, excuse ourselves for everything, or we go into more of an aggressive tone and become demanding and controlling just, to it's a control thing either way. It just comes back to control, honestly. Yeah, so those parts, the overgiving, bending over backwards, doing all the things, over apologizing, um, over explaining. Yes, yes, the over explaining part, we need to touch that. The over explaining part is that part that we not only excuse ourselves and apologize, we need to explain every little nitty gritty detail of everything. Um, yeah, but I'm like this or I'm like that, or yeah, this and that. Explain, explain, explain. If something happens, we need to explain, and especially to the masculine that don't fucking need your excuses because they are like, okay, just drop it, let it go, woman. And honestly, it becomes, yeah, honestly, it's irritating when we over explain ourselves. And then we wonder why people are like irritated at us, and our little inner good girl gets even more like, oh my God, sorry, I'm existing. Stop. Stop explaining everything about you. You have nothing to explain. Um, so I think about this in my life. Say, well, I'm late to the party. I happen to be having some issues with time sometimes, and I'm late. It's getting better, but this is my toxic trait. But honestly, I've stopped explaining myself because you know what? People don't fucking care about our excuses. I mean, a short detail like why sometimes, yes. But you honestly take up so, okay, yeah. You honestly, okay, let's get fucking real. You honestly, or we, I can put myself, we take up other people's fucking time with our over explanations all the time. And for the masculine, and it becomes so confusing. So, like, don't make yourself wrong, but like, yeah, radical self-honesty. Am I doing this? Because one, you don't have to, because it takes your energy to explain everything all the time and actually are just going in fucking circles, chasing your own tail over and over again to, come to clarity. And we can stop this. Ah, I feel like such a like, just taking a deep breath and a big exhale. Oh, starting out, I'm relaxing. How good is it to stop explaining? Yes, with all these pieces, when we are starting to, get aware and stop doing it, it can feel very uncomfortable because all of these strategies we use to actually avoid discomfort. Um, it would be better to step into that. So, good girl gone bad. Like now I'll explain the good girl. But good girl gone bad, she's anchored in her body. She's owning herself. She's confident. She doesn't have to be the loudest in the room, although I sometimes might be the loudest in the room because, yeah, I grew up in a very loud family. So, yeah. But for me, my loudness sometimes, although it's not so often that now, used to be me trying to be seen when I got older because the extensive talking, oh my God, was me trying to be seen in ways I didn't even understand. And the more I know, I love to be seen. I love to stand in the spotlight, but I don't have to do it in ways that I don't realize are not serving me or. So I'm a talker, and sometimes people have gotten really irritated at me because I don't fucking shut up. And I think that, you know, it doesn't have to be like we're the loudest girl, we are the girl who talks the most. Like, no, it's just owning who we are with confidence. Mm. Holding myself from excusing myself or apologizing for yawning. So, like, what do you want? Owning yourself in your desires. Because you know what? Really getting clear on your desires. Oh my God, I want to be taken wildly in the bedroom. Yes. Oh my God, I want my man to take me on a romantic weekend. I want to buy new shoes. Oh my God, I just want to soak myself in a bubble bath. Oh, yes. Oh my God, I do want to be the woman that walks into the fucking room and owns it. And I want to do it in high heels. And I want to do it now before I lost 10 pounds. Yes, I'm doing it. I'm confident. Let's go. Yes. Because you know what? People listen to you more and see you more and validate you more when we are not trying so hard. And me myself too. I get fucking irritated when I can see through people when they give me to get. Hated. Anyone who's in my close proximity, in my closest spaces, know that if they do something to get, they know I hate it. They know they know they will not get anything back. I've just been clear with this. I fucking hate it. I hate it. I don't want to be pressured into doing something. Um, and you know, when you lift your head high, this is a part of identity work, but we need to own it from the depth of who we are. And if we're actually feeling sad one day and like we don't have to act sparkly bubbly, like following the feminine, following the true expression moment to moment, but we can still hold our head high and our crown lit and our pussy lit and our hearts open, no matter what. We can be confident in all of who we are. And we can be bad girls. That means that I'm taking up the fucking room with my presence. Yes, you do. And I am fucking moaning in the bedroom, expressing all my juicy pleasure without fear of someone be like, oh my God, you can't moan that loud. And actually, yes, I have had a man tell me I moan too loud. And I was like, you know what? I can't fucking be another way. Why? Because if you have been so suppressed in your sexuality like I have been and truly have found the bliss of your sexiness and your juicy pleasures, oh my God, I will moan. Oh my God, my neighbors probably think I'm a crazy person. And you know what? I don't fucking care. I hear them all the time too. But you know what? If I would hear them moan, I will be like celebrating them here. You know what? Oh my God, yes, girl, you're getting fucked right now. So you know what? This is in the taboo. We like, oh my God, you can't do that. What? You can do almost whatever the fuck you want, girl. You don't have to, walk over people to do it, but you know what? Be bad. Be bad. Be a bad girl. And not as in performance, because sometimes we are bad girls performing. It's not for our true desires. And I'm like, it's for your true desires. Yes, it's for your true desires. So what do you want? And if you don't know what you want, what do you don't want? What do you want? And what do you don't want? Because that's information too. Great, you don't know what you want. Good. Let's get started. Let's start somewhere. So, you know what? You can be a good girl if you earn millions. You can be the good girl if you are like I used to be, always falling down into depression and like, yeah, probably would have been fucking depressed if I wasn't a good girl. So, yes, what do you want? How do you want to feel in your body? How do you want to take up a room? How do you want to be seen, heard, and felt? How do you want to be stroked by a man or a woman? How do you want to spend your Sunday mornings? How do you want your man to look at you? How do you want to suck your man's dick? How do you want to be in a relationship with your kids? That's the fucking bad girl. She's like, what do I want? How do I make it happen? Not by chasing, not by forcing, Certainly not by demanding, but how are you her? How are you her? And that starts with the permission slip. Yeah. Oh, right. I don't have to be a good girl. I can have whatever I want. Right. I can say no. Right. I can walk into a room and don't play like, oh, you know what? Yeah, I was on this trip, but it wasn't that good, just because other people, you don't want to make other people jealous or envious. No, I want you to own it. Oh my God, you know what? My man fucked me so good last night. I had fucking orgasm after orgasm after orgasm. My man is the man. Oh my God, it takes me so good in the bedroom. Because we connect over bullshit all the time. And we can stop doing that. That's why we have my community. So you can come into my community and into my program, Reclamation of the Crown, that is starting in about a month. If you want this community, spots are limited because I hold intimate spaces. Why? Because you want to be around women that speak like this. You want to be around women that, walks into the room and owns it. You want to be around women that are fucking celebrating you when you got fucked good last night, or when you earned that 10K, or when you took a fucking bubble bath and locked the door and just, lay there because you know that you should be taken care of. When you bought those roses for yourself, or when you express to your man, like, oh my God, I love flowers. When you are seducing him and expressing those desires that you first have to know yourself. Girl. Yes, yes, yes. Why? Because the masculine, a lot of the times, don't know what to fucking pick up on because you don't even know. You don't even know. So he's like standing there and you're like giving him mission impossible because you're not owning it. And I understand. I understand. I'm not saying that we shouldn't have compassion for the parts of us that have been hurt, that feel fear of rejection, but we don't want to live there anymore. And that's why we don't connect over the pain. Yes, I witness your pain. Oh my God, yes. Feel your pain. Yes, there might be the desire to, take time and feel your heart, feel your sorrows, and feel your anger. Because, especially good girls that have been fawning and pleasing, we might have suppressed our anger so much. And you know what? When we suppress our anger, we attract a lot of angry people into our lives. Why? People come to reflect the pieces we have suppressed in ourselves. And many times we project things onto them. So, how about instead, you know what? I think, oh my God, yes. Feeling a little scary here, but you know what? I would love to be spanked in the bedroom. Yes. Oh my God. What if I could just surrender and let go the control and feel my body? Because it's first and foremost start with the connection with yourself. Otherwise, it will be with the bad boys that will spank you because yes, they are fucking owning it. But yes, I want surrender. I want to let go of control. I want to be spanked in the bedroom. I want to be licked for hours. I want to be called a good girl in the bedroom because in the bedroom it can be juicy. You know what? I get so fucking turned on by giving my man the best pleasure ever. Oh my God, you know what? I want to buy those expensive lingerie and put on and fucking look at myself in the mirror and feel I am a goddess. Yeah, why? Because you are. Yes. And some women can still be good girls and still are very sexual. It's a whole variety. They are very anchored in their emotions. And they can often be very, um, they can have no problem with expressing their rage. So, we have so many different flavors of the good girl, and now it's time to walk over to being the bad girl. That is not bad because she's fucking just owning her life. And she's just not taking on things anymore. No. So, you know what? What do you want? What do you want? Oh, what's that movie's name? Diary. Ah, this movie. Have you seen it? So beautiful. Oh my God, I can't remember the name. Ugh. Anyways, he's standing there, almost shaking the woman, like, "What do you want? What do you want?" This has always stuck with my mind. And she's like, "I know." And yes, sometimes we don't fucking know. How would it be to have that man, just pick up the pieces sometimes? Not always, but sometimes. Because he's so fucking amazing. And he just wants you to be happy. And you want to let him in. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. So, I mean, what is it that you want? What is it that you want to feel? How do you want to feel with other people? How do you want to feel with your man or a future man or woman? But I speak woman man because it's easier. Yes. Oh, okay, you know what? Every time I go in here, I'm like, okay, this is a fun thing, because I've said to so many, like, I don't know what to say. And they're like, have you heard yourself? You can shut up. I think I maybe said it in the beginning. And when I start speaking, it's like, blah, 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 will never stop. So, your sex is your power. Connect to your pussy. She holds so much desire. And have I told this? I don't know if I've told this, but I think it's 2 years ago. Yes, I was going to Stockholm with this man that was a hotshot at Tesla, and he invited me to Stockholm. So we had been chatting, we had been talking in the phone, and it was pretty nice. I was invited to Stockholm and I asked my pussy if she wanted to go, and she said no. I trust my pussy fully. And she was like, no. And I was like, okay, so what do you want? She was like, I want you to take yourself on a weekend to it's a hotel in Stockholm, a five-star hotel called Diplomat, and like I want you to take yourself there. And she was like so turned on. I'm like, okay, we're going to Stockholm, me and my pussy. Um, so I did. And, being in that space, it's not the first time I've been in many fancy places, but to really take myself there and to allow myself to spend that money on me felt like a very bad girl move. And I was very in my seductive energy by choice and like, you know what? I'm just going to be open. And I set the intention, to connect to people. And I talk to everyone in the elevator because I am social, but I can also withdraw. See me, don't see me, okay? And one day after I had been out on the town and came home, I found a note under my door. And I don't really remember what it said, but I have saved it somewhere. And I was asked out on drinks that same evening. And first of all, like, wonder who of everyone who was in the elevator. So me, it was very, very, oh my God, maybe it's someone I liked or someone I didn't like. How do I know? And it turned into dinner. And it was just so beautiful, you know. That's where we can understand desires and fears are so connected because we can be so nervous. But it's like, do I want this? Yes. Take a fucking deep breath, girl, to do it, to do it and do it with confidence. And let's just say that that evening ended with kisses by the moonlight in my room, looking over the water in Stockholm that I like. It's my favorite place in Stockholm. And you know, the experience of being so magnetic and owning it and having so beautiful conversations. And here's the thing, that to be able to hold this and not withdraw into fear or hiding. I mean, I wouldn't have cultivated a relationship to this person that wasn't even from Sweden. So, but you know, to truly allow yourself to be seen and take up the spotlight with confidence and own it, and to open up to receive the people that think you are amazing, because you are. You are amazing. And people like watching you are like in awe of you. You want to be adored. You want to be cherished. You want to be, you know, turned on. And you want to, you know, people are seeing you and they are seeing your value. You, when you see it, so you can hold it. Because I used to be the woman that turned on, turned off, turned on, turned off before I even knew how to like be anchored in my pussy magic. So yeah, I will put out the replay for my iconic pussy magic workshop. And there will be also an invitation to my upcoming program with amazing queens. And I know if this speaks to you, I know that you are a woman for my space. And yeah, it's a 6-month program, and I can't imagine where you will be when you are starting to cultivate your sex, open your heart, own who you are. Like, I will pour all my wisdom into this program. It's kind of a semi-mastermind, or you know, since we will have girl talk, so it will be a live recorded calls, so I can feel you. I want to feel you. I love to feel you, and I love to interact with you, and I love to connect to you. I have loved the spaces I hold, starting with my first program, the Goddess Code. And yeah, you are so worth you're so worth investing in yourself and just, you know, transform and heal and grow and own who you are and be confident in your own skin and deepening your desires in the bedroom, in your sex, in your love, in your life, and nourish yourself, be in your pleasure. Yes. Yeah, I'm so excited for this. So, yeah. And also, you can drop into my DMs, slide into my DMs. And if you want to chat and help me unravel your desires a little bit, and apply to my one-on-one mentorship, because I have few limited spots for my mentorship since I love the intimate spaces. Yeah. Oh my God, I'm almost Swedish now. Okay, it's time to stop chatting. Tell me to stop. Okay, tell me to shut up. Okay, sending you all this love. Bye.